Hey, what's up everyone? Probably haven't made a video of any sort in a while, ever since I did my frickin' silly video game stuff that I do. But this video I'm gonna be talking about something entirely different. I'm gonna be going over here what I personally think about the men's physique category in the National Physique Committee and the International Federation of Bodybuilding, IFBB, as it's commonly called. And if it is possible to turn IFBB Pro naturally. Now, this is a pretty touchy subject, I would say, and I'll just kind of begin by telling about my experiences in the league and just kind of background about me. So myself, I have been training since I was 14. I'm about to turn 22 now. So I've been training about 8 years. I would say by the time I was like 15 or 16, I was going pretty consistently in the gym. I would say a minimum of 3 or 4 times a week. By the time I hit, even like 17, 18, definitely 19, I was going at a minimum of 5 times per week. Now where I am now, I am going really no less than 6 times a week, unless there's something that comes up. But the reason why I bring up this kind of question is because I have personally, being myself, I am a natural, and I have done my whole career as a bodybuilder naturally. I've never tried, anything from steroids to, hormones to like prescription diuretics. I've never tried any of that. And I have been competing in the NPC now for roughly 4 years, I want to say. So during these 4 years, I would place anywhere from generally around 5th to 3rd place. Those were on average my placings. I've never placed 2nd or 1st still at this point. But I have done a show that was just non-sanctioned. It was kind of a local show in my college town where I was at. And there, all of a sudden, I ended up placing 2nd out of, I want to say, like 24 or 25 guys. So, pretty interesting. In terms of my physique, stuff like that, I mean, I'm right here. You can sort of see me. This is me. Currently, I am 5'8" and 3/4, and in my off season, I weigh anywhere from 206 to 212 pounds, generally if I'm on creatine. Currently, right now, I'm about 206. Now that weight is pretty substantial for somebody my height, especially naturally. This is a weight that is quite hard to obtain in a natural sense. But again, something that I would say is obviously possible. I've done it, and I would say in terms of genetics, I have pretty good genetics. I remember ever since 4th and 5th grade, people were telling me to flex my arm, and I remember a picture of me on Facebook with, abs, and I could probably pull it up here at some point, but whatever. So I knew I had the genetics, and I knew my genetics were pretty good. This is just me here. This is my Instagram. Again, I have been training naturally for about 8 years now. In terms of my shots, I think probably this is one of my best shots here. Front pose, back pose. Here was me just doing a bunch of reps of 315 for 11, and then here was me doing 150-pound dumbbells for 8 on just a chest press. Anyways, if you guys want to check that out, you can. Here was almost a 1,400-pound leg press. So at this point where I'm at in my career, I am pressing the weights pretty fucking hard. And in terms of the gains I am making at this point, they are quite minimal. I love Scooby. If you guys haven't seen Scooby, I think it's 1961. Check this guy out. This man is probably one of the most realist fitness, people out there in the industry. This guy is no bullshit. He literally says it how it is, and isn't there for the money or anything like that. This is something pretty cool that I found is yearly muscle gain expectation ranges for natural bodybuilders. So right now I'm 22 and I've lifted for about 8 years. So adults who have lifted more than 5 years, 3 to 10 pounds a year. Adults who have lifted more than 10 years, 1 to 4 pounds per year. Now I just want you guys to get that in your head that is very, very insignificant. I myself have actually measured the amount of muscle mass I'm gaining per month, and back when I believe I was in junior year of college, while I was finishing my bachelor's in exercise physiology, I actually did a bod pod twice on myself, and I calculated the average because it spits out the lean mass for you, and I calculated the average amount of weight in lean mass that I gained per month. Between the span of about half a year. And I found that during those 6 months, I gained roughly 0.48 pounds of muscle per month. So, during those entire 6 months, I have gained roughly, 3 pounds. Half a pound a month, 6 months, 3 pounds a month. So during that year, I would have gained 6 pounds in lean mass, which is okay. But when you compare someone natural to someone that's on these enhancing drugs, there's just absolutely no question about it. There is no way that a natural person can even come close to contending against someone that is taking drugs, even for as little as 2 or 3 years. I've personally found that I have seen before and after shots of many IFBB pros where in their before picture they really look like they just haven't even lifted at all. They look like they're literally, like, do you even lift? I look better. I had a better physique than these guys that have not yet turned IFBB Pro. Then in a short 2 to 3 years, you get their after picture. I usually see these transformations around 2 to 3 years long. Sometimes you'll see longer ones where they get to around 6 to 8 years. But in terms of a transformation of an IFBB professional, I generally do not see transformations that long. Usually they are pretty short, roughly 2 to 3 years. And surprise, surprise, suddenly they go from a physique that is not as good as mine or comparable to mine to all of a sudden very, very easily surpassing my physique and having a degree of musculature, conditioning, and tone that I just absolutely can't stand a chance. So that's kind of the reality of it. Even me training for 8 years, longer again I would say than many IFBB pros, still don't really stand a chance. Like I said, placed around 3rd to 5th. And just to prove my point, I actually went and did the NPC USA back in July of 2016. So here's me here. Whoops, I'm pulling up the NPC USA pictures of me. I thought I brought a pretty good package. I thought my package was pretty good. I was definitely pretty conditioned. Could my condition have been a little better? Yes, probably, yeah. As you can see by this picture here, oh, not that one, this guy. I maybe could have came in a little drier, but oh, these are for later. That's really not the point I'm trying to make. Basically, what I'm saying is, I think I came in pretty good. You know, I was. Is it always gonna do this? Yeah. Okay. I came in, you know, pretty conditioned, low body fat. I trained pretty hard for this show. Okay, it just keeps doing that. I trained pretty hard for this show, and I thought I brought a pretty darn solid package. Yep, that's me there. So I don't recall my exact weight. I believe I was somewhere at around 170 to 175 pounds, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe I could have pushed it a little higher, but I think that's around where I was at. But yeah, what you're seeing here is a natural physique of an 8-year bodybuilder. Now let's just check the overall winner this year, which was this man right here. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not using this video to kind of elevate my status as a natural bodybuilder. I am not using it to, you know, be condescending towards, you know, any people that do use enhancement drugs. My hat's off to everyone that does do it. You know, I have the utmost respect. But, you know, this just goes to show that me at 8 years versus this man right here, still quite a long ways off. Let's go back here. Let's go to the back shot. Back shot again, much more tone from him. Arm size is obviously much greater, and just much more definition in the lats, the tricep or the trapezius, the really just inner back, lower back, pretty much everything. And so I placed, I want to say, I was in last callouts, and I got center stage of last callouts. So what I kind of found interesting was when I was, you know, looking at all these guys, I was on the stage and I was, you know, seeing all these guys come up, and what I noticed was in my call out, in the last call outs, I believe I was like 5th call outs. The class was absolutely giant. Everybody in that class looked like their physiques could have been obtained naturally. Even in the 4th call outs, maybe even some in the 3rd call outs. But what I saw in the 2nd and especially 1st call outs was that it's just, you know, it looked as if it was pretty much not possible to get to that point naturally. Again, this is just, you know, showing that 8 years of my training, and I'm really still nowhere close to looking like this guy. I mean, you could just visually tell. I'm really nowhere close, not in musculature or conditioning. And I also wanted just to show the change in the level of competition from when men's physique first began in 2011 up till now. So this guy here was the winner of the 2011 NPC USA. Quite a drastic difference. You could just tell that this guy here, I mean, a lot less body mass or lean mass, and a lot less conditioning. Here's his pretty similar shots here. Again, really no comparison, and especially the back shot here. There's just, you know, it's absolutely not even a battle, so to speak. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I personally believe that back in the early years of men's physique, this physique on the left can be obtained naturally. I think this physique is a physique that is definitely possible to obtain naturally. with enough training, enough years in training, something like this physique can definitely be done. This was back in 2011 though. This was when men's physique just began. I would say up until 2012, 2013, this trend continued, where, you know, I have seen natural level athletes get into the IFBB Pro. But I've just noticed some, you know, interesting things where, you know, I've seen these old school men's physique guys now that that obtained their pro cards back in like 2011, 2012, maybe even 2013, that now really struggle to get any decent placing in the men's physique category. Some just easy names to shout out, such as Steve Cook. If you look at Steve Cook, I'm pretty sure he got his pro card, I think, back in like 2013, 2012, maybe 2011, I don't really remember. But if you guys have been following him, I think he did like the Hawaii show, like something like, what, like a few months ago, maybe like half a year ago now, not half a year, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, and I think he placed like 7th or something. I mean, you know, it really wasn't an impressive placing. And keep in mind, that was even with his large, you know, following, you know, brands, sponsors, still only placed 7th. So that is, you know, just something kind of think about. Yeah. Let's see. Yada yada. I'm just kind of going through my notes here. Give me a second. Talked about that. So I guess I'll kind of start to wrap up this video because it's been going a little while. So we'll get to the point of the answer to my question is, what do I really think is, you know, is it possible, you know, to turn IFBB Pro as a natural competitor? If you guys watch this video here, this is Scooby's video, Are Steroids Cheating? Right about this point where he pops up this picture of these men's physique guys, I think he sums it up pretty well. You know, it's like, you know, I personally think that being natural with absolute top level genetics and probably also requiring to have some sort of large Instagram following, some sort of large YouTube following, or backed by some big brand or sponsor. Unless those are the cases, I feel like the chances to turn natural IFBB Pro, personally, is, like Scooby says, really less than 1% chance. I believe it's just, honestly, pretty much not possible. I remember I was backstage in the NPC USA, and I was just dwarfed by those guys. I'll be really honest, I was. You know, I was just standing in the line. You know, they line us up, we get ready to go on stage. I just kind of looked forward, looked behind. You know, I just looked at the guys around. I was looking, you know, while we were all pumping up, and I could definitely tell that I probably did not belong there. I saw some crazy physiques there, man. I saw literally, you know, I think a classic physique guy that just looked like he was, you know, straight out of Hercules or something. I mean, the guy was just chiseled abs, you know, crazy muscle bellies, conditioning to, you know, all hell. Like, he was like literally almost zero fat. And yeah, I was just like, wow, you know, all my training, you know, all my 8 years of doing this, and I still don't really compare to these guys, not even close. So yeah, that's kind of my answer. I personally think that the chances are less than 1% for men's physique. Obviously, if we're talking about classic physique or bodybuilding, there's absolutely no question. It's not even possible. I don't care, you know, how long you've been lifting or anything like that. Natural physiological limits, and as I showed here, you know, things like the, you know, diminishing returns, You know, you start here pretty high. As you progress, you obviously get quite lower with diminishing returns. I just don't think it's possible, really, unless something kind of miraculous happens where, you know, maybe, you know, all the guys in the class come in off, and maybe it's only like a junior national show, or, you know, just some sort of level of pretty much luck. I don't think it's possible to do it naturally, really in pretty much any shape, way, or form. It's not even just the muscle that is hard, the level of muscle that's hard to attain, but it's also the level of conditioning, because, you know, these enhancing drugs, and especially the prescription diuretics, they drastically affect the way you metabolize fat, and you know, how much of this fat and water that you can actually drop. And it's something that I just can't be done naturally, I'm pretty sure. If you look at guys, let's see if I do IMBF. If you just take a look at some pictures here of some natural competitors, the difference is pretty black and white. You'll immediately see that, you know, there's bodybuilder here, Thomas Nordal, pro bodybuilder, WNBF. Picture's not showing up, but you can see here that his, you know, physique as a pro bodybuilder in the WNBF looks absolutely nothing to a physique in the IFBB. And here is a men's physique guy right here, turned WNBF pro, and as you can see, compared to this year's overall winner, again, it's not really a question. I may look pretty comparable to him, but definitely not, you know, someone like this caliber. I've heard, you know, some like I guess points to make that it can be, you know, lean mass isn't what's entirely the deciding factor of turning IFBB pro, which is true. Lean mass is definitely not the deciding factor of turning IFBB pro. I've talked to my coach. It's pretty well known here in California. He trains a lot of NPC and IFBB guys, and he's had guys turn pro at anywhere from 150 pounds to 190 pounds. But, you know, I personally, I still found that I can't, while I'm at similar weights to IFBB pros, I can get nowhere near recreating the looks of IFBB pros. So that's just something kind of also pretty interesting. Obviously, it can be in part due to body composition differences, and you know, just not having that same level of conditioning, or, you know, lean mass that's just possible. So yeah, that's just kind of my personal spiel on what I think about becoming a pro IFBB men's physique naturally. Is it possible? Yes, maybe in very rare lucky circumstances, if you have, you know, if you're backed by maybe some big sponsor, or you have a large Instagram following, or some kind of celebrity. Easy example, Jeff Side. His physique looks pretty natural. I think definitely in the realms of what is obtainable, but it's definitely in that like top, you know, 0.5% in terms of genetics. But again, he's kind of one of those exceptions to the rule, where, you know, he has very large following, he's quite a famous celebrity. So someone like him, you really have to discount. And I think that's really all I've got. Yeah, I think I'll end the video there. Thanks guys for just, you know, hearing kind of my talk, my opinion about it. In terms of me, I'm a bit of, I would say, at a standstill right now for what I want to do in terms of continuing to compete, whether I continue in the NPC or turn to a natural federation. It's definitely something I'm looking at and considering. But that's all I got for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. And yeah, have a good day.